Elijah Mitchell did not practice on Wednesday. McCaffrey dealing with that calf contusion that he was trying to work out during the game last weekend. Mitchell has a groin injury. Deebo Samuel, by the way, also not on the practice field on Wednesday. He's continuing to manage that ankle, but Coach Kyle Shanahan has not sounded any alarms. He expects all those guys to play in Sunday's NFC Championship game against the Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, their quarterback Patrick Mahomes was not only on the field Wednesday, he was listed as a full participant just 4 days after suffering that high ankle sprain against the Jaguars. Mahomes said he hasn't gone home much at all except to sleep. He's been getting a whole lot of treatment. Mahomes said the important thing for him this week is to push it in practice, not run the risk of aggravation, but really test it out, see exactly how well he is able to move. Does not, though, seem like there's any question about his availability. Mahomes will play against the Bengals. Jamie?
All right, good to know. Tom Pelissero, thank you so much for setting the stage for Throwdown Thursday. Let's roll. AFC Championship first, which showcases two of the league's best big-time pass catchers. So, Throwdown Thursday on this topic. Bigger impact, Jamar Chase or Travis Kelce?
You know, Travis Kelce has not had a ton of success against this Bengals defense. Lou Anarumo has put the clamps on Travis Kelce the 3 times they have played. But this might be a different version of Travis Kelce. Can I see Travis Kelce's season? I think yesterday on the show, we did the Offensive Player of the Year finalists. And I love what Justin Jefferson and Jalen Hurts are. They're all worthy. But Kelce had a career year. He was 3rd in the league in catches, 8th in receiving yards, and he was 2nd in touchdowns. Oh, and last week he had 14 receptions. I think Kelce's going to have to play a huge role. Bigger impact, they're both huge players. They're superstars. But bigger impact for this Chiefs offense that has been just flummoxed by the Lou Anarumo defense, especially in second halves this last 3 matchups. Kelce has been silenced. That can't happen anymore. There has to be a deliberate and an intentional plan to get Kelce the rock. I think Travis Kelce goes nuts again, and I think he plays an even bigger role than he did even this season, even last week against the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fired up, too. He had that fumble in that first game, and that had a huge impact on that game. Both superstars. I'm going with Jamar Chase, who's going to have the bigger impact. You said it about that Bengals defense. They're going to be keyed in on Travis Kelce. There's going to be double teams. There's going to be guys hitting him at the line of scrimmage. I think for Jamar Chase, he'll have some more open opportunities in one-on-one coverage. T. Higgins on the other side. Hayden Hurst has had a good run throughout the latter part of this season. I think that will open up things for Jamar Chase and allow him to get loose in that Kansas City Chiefs secondary. So I'm going with Jamar Chase on this one.
For me, the answer to every question is Kelce. Kelce. I don't care if it's Jamar Chase, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali. It is always Kelce. I have no doubt that the Jacksonville defensive staff, defensive players, spent the entire week saying Kelce, 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 and then he had 14 catches before he got off the bus. Like, he does what he wants, which is what's interesting with Peter bringing up about him not going prolifically against the Bengals. Either they solved him or Kelce's due. He's just that player. You're like, we're not going to let him beat us, and then he beats you. I also think, you know, Kelce, this is a legacy thing for him too. I don't know how many more of these he's going to get. I don't know what the future is, but it's not just Mahomes who loses another title game to the Bengals, who loses the Bengals game. It's his cohort too, and I think Kelce needs it. We have the idea of a maybe all Kelce Super Bowl on the horizon, which I'm sure he wants. But the answer to every question, I don't care what the rest of the questions of the segment. I'm just going to say Travis Kelce, and I'm going to be right. Watch.
Yeah, protect Donna Kelce at all costs when it comes to potentially having to just be at a single Super Bowl for her boys. All right, now on to the NFC Championship, showcasing a young Brock Purdy's first trip to South Philadelphia. Who will rack up more yardage at the line? Brock Purdy through the air, or just the Eagles as a team on the ground? Peter?
Eagles put up 280 last week against the Giants.
Come on now.
I think the Eagles' game plan is establish it on the ground, and then hit that long, deep shot to Jalen Hurts. I don't think we appreciate Jalen Hurts' deep throwing ability. This guy's been throwing beautiful dimes. But I think if the Eagles and Niners is going to go how it's going to be, it's not going to be about any quarterbacks throwing for a ton of yards. I think this one is going to be one in the trenches, and I'm going to go with Eagles rushing yards more than Brock Purdy's throwing yards, even if that's like 140. I don't think we want to see Purdy throwing the ball over the yard on Sunday. I certainly don't think Kyle Shanahan's game plan is Purdy, go nuts, and let's just get into a shotgun and you throw the ball around the place. The game plan for the Eagles is let's run the ball down their throats, even if they have this great run defense. We got to be us. I'm going to say say Eagles running game, and I haven't picked a winner in this one, but I will tell you this. I don't think there's a ton of points in this game.
I like that, and I agree with you. This game is going to be won in the trenches. Both teams want to run the ball and establish that. But I can't discredit the San Francisco 49ers defense to think that they're going to go out there, the Eagles, and just run the ball down their throat. I think San Francisco's giving up less than 80 yards a game on the ground, and I think the Eagles are going to do a little bit more than that. But Brock Purdy can go out there and he can throw for 200 yards, and that's a very modest day. I don't think that the Eagles are going to go and run for 200 yards on this 49ers.
How about 130? Does that sound doable? 140?
I think Purdy throws for more than 140 yards. I think that's very pedestrian. You know?
Okay. I think Travis Kelce outgains them all.
Yeah.
It's Kelce. You know, I've been around the sun a few times, and Peter, I'm going to go off with what you're saying. Sometimes it just goes crazy. It's not how you expect it to go. It's just not. And everything you're saying is completely prudent and makes sense. And of course, it should be 16-10. It could be 31-27. It could be 48-45. For that note, I'm going to go with Purdy passing. As much as the Eagles are great at rushing, I can't see them going 200 plus on this defense, right? I love them. I actually think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Okay. I do. I have a feeling like I didn't think the Bills were going to score 10 points last week. Did anybody? They did. The playoff games zag, and I think this is going to be higher scoring than we think.
Yeah, to your point, like, what are we going to see from Purdy if the Eagles go up 14-0? And that could just be on the first 3 drives of the game. And then, like, where does it go from there? Exactly.
You're right.
All right, Kyle, you're up.
Okay.
From the gridiron to the silver screen. San Francisco and Philadelphia, 2 cities that have been the backdrop for a lot of great films. A lot to pick from. Mrs. Doubtfire, Bullet, Best in Show, Trading Places. The titles are limitless, but we have chosen 2 for this ultimate contest. Is it The Rock or Rocky that you just can never get enough of, Peter?
I'm going to say, if you were to ask me, sitting on your couch on a rainy Sunday in late February after the Super Bowl, and you're just clicking around and you've got some terrible college basketball game on and there's some awful pickleball tournament going on, and then you find one of those sweet spot networks, whether it be TNT, TBS,
AMC, USA.
Yeah.
The Rock is entirely watchable. The Rocky is an investment, and there are some dark... Rocky is a dark film. Now, if you said Rocky 4, we're talking a different conversation. If you said Rocky 3, we're talking... Rocky might have won the Academy Award, but it is not a let's watch Rocky all over again and over again and over again. It's dark when Adrian's in that pet shop. Like, it is not a fun scene.
Paulie's dark, too.
Yeah, Paulie's really dark. Paulie goes really, really dark places. I like The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock is fun. You've got Connery. You've got Cage. You've got Alcatraz. I'm going to go with The Rock as more watchable. Rocky is probably the better film as a whole.
Yeah, I'm right along with you. I think The Rock, you talk about just the premise of it all, right? Connery's locked up. He shouldn't be locked up just because he has this dirty secret. And now we're hiring him now to come help us infiltrate Alcatraz and the whole 9 of it. So for me, watching that movie is just so much fun back and forth. You're trying to figure out what's coming next. Rocky's an unbelievable film. There's so many of them. I'm a younger guy, so it's like, you know all the movies, but it's like, dang, which one was 4? Which one was 3? Oh, that was the original one. So for me, I'm going The Rock.
A couple hundred years ago, guys named Washington, Jefferson, and Adams were branded as traitors by the British. And now they're known as patriots. In time, so shall we. That's The Rock. That's General Francis Xavier Hummel on the Alcatraz Island. Listen, Rocky, I respect it. I respect everything it represents, Philadelphia and the statue and the underdog and never giving up. Tough watch. It's a tough watch. Turn that on right now. It's boring as hell. None of that Eye of the Tiger stuff. That's 2 movies later. Yeah. He runs around, and it's great, and I know what it represents. It is tough. And Adrian doesn't want any part of Rocky whatsoever. Won't even look at him. All of a sudden, he gets to fight with the Apollo, and she's cuddling up with him on the couch. We know where her mind was. That's always bothered me. The series really takes off at 3. It hits the apex at 4. The Rock is an incredible... I think the movie The Rock is better than the entertainer The Rock. I really do. I find it more entertaining there. Tony Todd, who's Candyman, is like the 15th lead in that ensemble of a movie. Like, he's an afterthought, and he's great in it. The Rock is a fantastic, rewatchable, full-on 90s movie. Rocky was great in 1976, I think, when it came out. But right now, it's very slow, very tedious. I'm not into it.
In the course of Nicolas Cage's career, is that like the hot zone where like he could not miss?
I think that's it. Because he won the Oscar and then decided to start doing action movies. Yeah. And this is 90s Face Off, and this is post leaving Las Vegas, and this is the big deal. And Connery was massive, and it was just
Con Air. You had face-off, and then you had The Rock.
And this is after winning an Academy Award for an artsy movie about being an alcoholic. Like, he just decided, I'm just going to go the action route. I'm going to start driving Lamborghinis, and it worked. I'm going to go with that, in a runaway. A runaway.
I have to go home and watch it.
The Rock? Oh, you'll love it.
Never seen it.
Oh,
it's action-packed. It's like a music video.
I can't wait.
Yeah, Michael Biehn, come on.
Oh,
yeah,
can't wait. Oh, great.
Vanessa Marcil.
Welcome.
Vanessa Marcil.
Yeah, Vanessa
General
Marcil.
Hospital.
I loved her in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah? You like leaving Las Vegas?
No, the show Las Vegas.
Oh, with Vanessa
Jimmy
Marcil.
Kahn.
Yeah.
Nikki Cox.
Hello.
Josh Duhamel.
Hello.
Yes, Josh
Love
Duhamel.
Josh.
Vanessa Marcil was married to Corey Feldman. I mean, that's a life.
Wasn't she also married to Brian Austin Green?
Yeah, I think she was.
All right. Coming up on Go Ready Football, that was Throwdown Thursday. Which quarterback has the toughest task on Championship Sunday? We're going to play a round of no cap later.
There's a
no
scene
cap.
that has pigtails in the film. She references them. Plus, still concerned about Mahomes' injury? Well, former Chiefs offensive lineman